Reselling is just not for everyone. There are some people that make thousands of dollars a month flipping shoes, clothes, accessories, handbags, diapers, tennis rackets. I always use diapers and tennis rackets, you guys, because I sell a ton of adult diapers and tennis rackets. And some people just have piles and piles of unsold inventory and they end up failing. What is the difference? Is it luck? I say nay, nay, friends. It is not luck. In my opinion, after doing this for a very long time, and a lot of you have done this for even longer than I have. I've been a reseller part-time on eBay for 15 years, you guys. 2025 makes it 15 years, and I've learned there's like 5 things that determines if you're successful or not in reselling, and we're gonna get into it. And if you are doing any of these things, do not take it personal. I have done all of these things I'm about to tell you, and I still presently do some of these things, and I'm working on it. Oh, I'm a nerd. I have a list. I have a written list that we're gonna go through. Number 1, and I made this mistake very early on, successful resellers do not treat this like a hobby, you guys. They treat it like a business. I did this for years. Like the first 3 to 5 years in my reselling business, it was like a hobby to me because I was in school and I had a full-time job. So I would just list whenever I wanted. And it finally clicked for me around year 5, year 6, when I started discovering other resellers at the thrift store. I started making reselling friends. I was like, if I really get serious about this and treat this like I treat my master's degree or treat this like I treat my full-time job in healthcare, I could really make some money doing this part-time. So a lot of part-timers, when I talk to them, they take offense when I say you can't treat this like a hobby. But I don't know why. If it's a hobby for you, great. But for me, I need to make an income doing this. So I treat it like a business, even though I have part-time hours, you guys. So what does that mean when I say treat it like a business? Every day, every month, I have a listing schedule and I have a sales goal. Just like I would if I was working in sales at a company, I have a schedule and I have a sales goal. If you follow me on Instagram, you already know I am up at the crack of dawn most days. 5 to 6 days a week, I'm up between 4 and 5 a.m. every day, you guys. I probably take 1 day off from that. Sleeping in to me is like 7 a.m. And I use that time to work on my reselling business. I work on my reselling business either very early in the morning or the last thing at night, or sometimes both. But I have learned after doing this part-time for 15 years and having a full-time job while doing this that entire time, that schedule works for me, and listing consistently works for me. So many part-time resellers or even full-time resellers get mad when I say this, but it's just the facts, you guys. I'm not just creating this out of thin air. I've told you guys that I've talked to people that work at Poshmark and eBay, and they have both told me that if you want to make the most amount of money, the key, the giant key here is listing consistently, but listing consistently that things that people want to buy. You cannot just be listing crap that no one wants to buy, you guys. At the end of this video, stick around. I'm actually gonna take you to the thrift store. I'm gonna screen record my phone and I'm gonna show you how I look up comps at the thrift store. Because if you're not checking sell-through rate, if you're not looking up comps and you're literally just buying anything you want or anything that you can get for like a deal and nobody wants to buy it, you're not going to make money. So if listing a couple times a week works for you, stick to that, do it consistently. Do it every week for the rest of the year. If listing daily like I do, if you can pull that off, that's the best. I'm not just making that up. This is coming straight from the horse's mouth. Poshmark and eBay have said to me, if you can list every single day, or if you can have listings go live every single day, that is the best. The algorithm loves it. The buyers love it. The followers of your stores love it. They want to see consistent new items that people want to buy. So sell-through rate and comps are king, you guys. And I'm not one of those resellers that's going to tell you that everything I buy has to have 100% sell-through rate. That just doesn't work for me. When I go thrifting, when I go sourcing, when I'm buying pallets and things, everything doesn't have 100% sell-through rate. I think I would have a very tiny store if everything had to have 100% sell-through rate. I'm honestly happy with anything that's like 50% or higher. I think that's more realistic for my business. But yeah. Listing consistently. That's the biggest thing here, you guys. Set a goal, what works for you, and stick to it. Have a sourcing budget. This all falls into treating it like a business. I cannot tell you, for years, you guys, I told you this in the last couple of videos I've posted. I'll link them down below. I was just buying, and I was not selling anything. I wasn't checking comps. I wasn't checking sell-through rate. And I had all of this stuff in my studio apartment. I didn't even have my storage unit yet. And none of it was selling. And I had no max budget. I was borrowing money from my friends. I was borrowing money from my parents. Like, hey, can I get some cash? I need to go sourcing again. But nothing was selling. And I had no budget. I had no budget of like, hey, I'm going to spend $500 on new inventory this month. And that's it. I am very strict about my budget now, you guys. We could do a whole budgeting video. Let me know. Listen, I'm not the best at numbers, but I have tools that make me really good with numbers, that do all the work for me, and I just plug everything in. I am very strict about my budget. So stick to a budget, even if it's as basic as I'm only going to spend $200 this month. I'm going to track everything I source, and once I hit that, I'm not going to go over that. We're going to treat this like a business, and we're going to track our expenses and our profits. If you are not doing that, sit down and get really real with yourself, because for the first couple of years of reselling, I was just assuming I made a couple sales every week that I was making so much money, and come to find out month after month after month, I was losing a ton of money because I was just being a buyer. I was just buying a bunch of stuff and not selling enough to even turn a profit. So get your expenses under control. I use QuickBooks Self-Employed, not sponsored. I love that app. I've been using it for years now, and it's great. And I literally just print out my spreadsheets from that app. I give it to my CPA, and he does my business taxes. It's amazing. So listing consistently, we're going to budget, and we're going to track our expenses and our profits. We're treating this like a business. I don't care if you only list 10 new items a week. Do that consistently. You know how many people do this? Successful resellers price strategically and not based on emotion. So we're not just going to say, I paid $20 for this, so I need to have it sell at $50 or $55 or $60 to make a profit. I can't tell you how many resellers I've heard say this. I've even heard experienced resellers saying this, like people that have been doing this for 10 years. So this is why I really wanted to include in this video how to look up comps, how to see what things are selling for. I know not all of you are interested in that, but I'll put it at the end of this video, because here's the thing. If you're paying $20 for something, your item is only worth what someone will pay for it. Just because you paid $20, they don't give a flying poop what you paid for that item. If they only want to pay $15, and if eBay tells you after you check comps, after you've already bought this thing for $20, that people are only paying $10 to $20 for this shirt, then it doesn't matter what you paid for it. So that's why we want to price strategically. First of all, we don't want to pick up items that we can't flip for a profit. So, right, that's the name of the game. So we're not going to just buy something, because I gave you the example. I made this mistake just like 2 weeks ago, you guys. I found a Farm Rio top. I can't remember. It was like 20, 30, 40 bucks, something like that. It was not cheap. And I was like, oh yeah, Farm Rio still sells great. I don't need to check comps. I was completely wrong. I found a recent comp for that shirt for like 25 or 30 bucks. So, and the sell-through rate is horrible. So even myself, super experienced, I get lazy, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a great brand. That's worth paying up for, without checking any of the information. So I told you guys, I am not exempt from making these mistakes. I make a lot of them less. I make them a lot less often. That's a tongue twister. Than I did maybe like 5, 10 years ago, but I still make them. So Always check comps and sell-through rate. You decide what a good sell-through rate is for you. I've always told you guys, I'm not going to tell you how to run your business. I'm definitely not going to preach to you guys that you need to have 100% sell-through rate to be successful. Like, yeah, if everything in your store could 100% sell through in 3 months, that is like a reselling heaven, right? That's amazing. But the reality is, especially I know a lot of you are thrifters, we just don't find things that have that great of a sell-through rate every single time we go sourcing. So like I told you, realistic for me, if I find something with 50% or above, I am happy with that. Boy, this one I feel like is gonna ruffle some feathers. Okay, I wrote down successful resellers learn and adapt. Failing ones stay stuck. I'm not gonna stick too long on this one. You can decipher that how you want, okay? In whatever part of your reselling business you want that to fall into. But what I wrote down is that, you know, reselling is always changing. Brands come and go. Some brands like totally just, I'm trying to think of a brand that was so popular just a couple years ago, even in like 2020, that has just tanked, in my opinion, and based on sell-through rate. The one that came to my mind immediately was Gymshark. Like pre-COVID and then like during COVID, I would be so excited, even into 2021, to find Gymshark. And now it just sits forever for me. If you watch the Thrift With Me in Montana videos, I will link that down below. You guys, if you are new here, we have a lot of new subscribers. I'm sorry, I have a problem. I always say I'm gonna link 50 million things and videos and resources. If I ever forget, I do read all of your comments. I cannot respond to all of them, but if I ever forget to link something, or you're like, hey, Nikki, you mentioned this, can you give me the link? I will get it to you. It might take me a couple days, but I promise I will link it. So I'll link those videos down below, but I found this Gymshark top really cute. I'm pretty sure it's new without the tags. It is new without the tags. It's been sitting. And when did I go to Montana? Last August. So we're coming up on a year soon. Gymshark for me used to literally sell within days of me listing it. That's a brand that for me has, like, I don't want to say it nosedived, but I mean, it really took a fast fall. Lululemon is another one that comes to mind. It's not a nosedive, but I feel like Lululemon has really come down over the years. What are some brands that you guys feel like were popular maybe even like 5-6 years ago that now you just can't sell? So that's one thing I was talking about. I was mentioning when I talk about successful resellers learn and adapt. One of my group members, we were talking in the DMs. You guys in my group and then you guys in the comments, I appreciate you so much because you give me so many video ideas just by your comments or by your suggestions. So I always appreciate that. If you guys ever have any video requests, please leave them in the comments. One of my group members DM'd me this, and then one of you guys commented, and you were saying how you feel like live selling is like a huge path forward for reselling, but you hate live selling and you feel like you're going to be stuck and left behind. And I don't agree with that, you guys. I have always told you guys, I love live selling. I love, love, love it. It's awesome. I feel like doing YouTube for years kind of prepared me to be a live seller because you're in front of a camera, but the people aren't really there, but you're getting instant feedback and you're making money. I love it, you guys. But a lot of people don't love it. But I don't feel like you cannot be successful as a reseller if you don't live sell. You guys, I tell you about my reselling mentor all the time. She has nothing to do with live selling. She doesn't shop on Whatnot. She doesn't shop on Poshmark Live. And this lady makes a killing. And she's been doing it for 25 years. She's got a huge warehouse here in LA. She has a couple of staff members and they are listing about 2 to 250 items every single day with her and her tiny staff of like 2 or 3 people. This lady is amazing. She doesn't do social media. She's not on Instagram, not on YouTube. She is awesome. And she wants nothing to do with live selling. And you guys, her business, it's mind-blowing. I can't even believe she shared the numbers with me, but her business is making net after expenses and everything close to $2 million a year. just with listing, I mean, it's a large scale. I'm trying to get her to do an interview here. I highly doubt that will ever happen, you guys. She wants nothing to do with social media, but maybe I could get her to do like a podcast style thing, because I mean, it's so inspirational. So I always use her as the gold standard. But even if you don't want to do that scale, you guys, you can do this without live selling. So please don't take it personal. Like, one of my group members was like, well, are you like trying to say that if we don't want to adapt to live selling that we're going to be left behind? Absolutely. You guys, I took 6 months off from live selling at one point, and I was still making great money listing 10, 20, 30, 40 items a day. 6 months one time, another time I took like closer to 7 months off. I've taken very long breaks, hence the reason I always have to like rebuild my live selling following. By the way, if you're interested, I would love it if you would come and hang out. I'll link my more recent live sales that are coming up on Poshmark and whatnot. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm more so talking about new tools that are coming out. I'm talking about adapting to new trends. Don't just assume like I did, oh, Farm Rio is a great brand. It's been a great brand for so long. That one will sell for a ton of money. We, as resellers, we just have to be nimble, okay? Like for a very long time, I was doing all my Poshmark sharing by myself, by hand, and I promise you now, if I was still doing that, I would have quit selling on Poshmark. I cannot stand the sharing and the sharing your stuff and then sharing other people's stuff, and then like I can't believe I did that for so long, you guys. I had to adapt. I was like, you know what? Everybody's talking about using automation. Poshmark's allowing them to do it. I recently did a survey where Poshmark was like, tell us which automation tools you use. They know that we're all a lot of us. I shouldn't say we all. If you're not using automation, good for you. Don't get mad at us for those of us that do. But I would have quit selling on Poshmark. So I had to adapt, you guys. I had to adapt to the eBay, the eBay AI description. That's not a tool you have to use, but when I tell you, it has made my life and my virtual assistant's life so much easier with descriptions. Honestly, a lot of buyers don't even look at the description, you guys. They literally just look at the photos because they'll message me questions that are answered in the description. But that's what I'm talking about. So using AI tools that are out, researching brands, not just going based off like BOLO lists that are like 3 years old. I feel like I've told you guys this. I created a BOLO list last year. It's free. I will link it down below. And then you're on my mailing list. And if you don't want to be on my mailing list, you can unsubscribe. I only email you guys once a week with like tips and tricks similar to the video, but like new information on what's happening in the reselling world. I feel like those have to be updated annually, if not quarterly, you guys, because like I said, there are just brands that are doing great and then they nosedive. And so we need to adapt to that. Now, like I said, take that for what you will. Is that the saying? Basically, what I'm trying to say is that could apply to many facets of reselling, whether you feel like, all right, maybe I should try live selling, or you feel like maybe I want to dip into sourcing online, or maybe thrifting stinks where I live in Alabama. I am going to try selling wholesale items and do boutique clothing. Like, that is what I'm talking about. If you want to be successful in reselling because one door closes, or just because one way of sourcing doesn't work, if you really want to do this and you want to make the money, you can adapt and make this work however you want. That's why this is one of my favorite businesses to run. I'm talking a lot. Let's breeze through because this is going to be a long video. I've talked about this a ton. Successful resellers take great photos. Failing ones don't prioritize presentation. Listen, I am not exempt here. I take decent enough photos. They're well lit. I take a lot of photos, but sometimes, you guys, just because of my limited schedule, I don't have time to steam something. And I look at it, I'm like, oh man, that photo doesn't look like great because I really need to steam that item. So what I'm actually doing right now is I'm going through all of my listings, doing inventory. It is so time consuming. And I'm actually pulling the items of the things that I find that are like super wrinkled or just could use like a nice refresh. I'm pulling them, my mom and I are steaming them, and then I'm rephotographing them. This is gonna take a very long time because it's just myself and my mom helping me occasionally. And then I am rephotographing everything. So it's gonna take a while, but I just know that just because I was just in a rush to get as much listed as possible, that those items could sell for a lot more if I steamed them. So like I said, you guys, I'm still doing these mistakes years and years on end, and that's where I got the idea for this. So, you know, you don't need fancy lighting. Like right now, I'm using a fancy camera. I'm using a mic and a mic stand and a like mic cord. Like you don't, and a ring light, and you don't need all of that to have a successful reselling business. Cell phones are so great. These lights, I will say, this ring light is not fancy, you guys. I've always told you it cost me under $100 on Amazon. I got it like 6 or 7 years ago. It's a little janky, but it works. Like, that's all I use. I use the same setup. Oh, now you can see the mic. I use the same setup for YouTube that I use to photograph. I use my phone and I use a ring light. I always link it down below, you guys. I always link all my stuff down below. I've even started like linking my metal hangers. All of this stuff is from Amazon, you guys, and I try to keep it really affordable. So you don't need a ton, you don't have to spend a ton of money on this stuff to have crisp, clear photos. I'm actually struggling with this one now. Successful resellers keep inventory moving, failing ones hold stale inventory. I am guilty of this right now, you guys. As I'm going through inventory, I'm like, why am I keeping this sweater that I've had for 2 years? It's not selling, it's vintage. I've relisted it like 4 times at this point. It's time to let it go. And you know what I did? I relisted it because I was like, no, I think it'll sell. You guys, you gotta move on. And it's so interesting because I can be cutthroat and let certain things go. And then there's just like I have about 1,200 listings right now. There's like 200 items that I just went through that I'm like, well, maybe if I steam it and take, you know, like 4 more photos, it'll sell. Even though I checked the sell-through rate and the sell-through rate's like 15%. I don't know why there are like a couple, like I should say a couple. 200 is a lot. There's like 200 items right now that I honestly should just let them go. But I keep holding on. I don't know. Anybody go through that? Usually I'm so cutthroat, but I don't know. Maybe I've become a softie since I've become a mom, because for years, you guys, I was great at doing inventory. I told you this, if something hadn't sold within a year, I was like, all right, you're on the chopping block. You've got like 1 more round, like a couple more months before I do inventory again, and then you're out of here. Either I redonate or I take it to a consignment shop, or I'm sending you to ThredUp. But now I've just like started struggling a little bit with that. So how do you fix this? 1, relist old inventory. If you are doing it on eBay, don't just click relist. You want to do sell similar, because eBay will give that listing like all new metadata. That's kind of how they explained it to me. Like eBay told me this. I call them all the time, you guys. I call and chat with eBay. They're probably so sick of me. Probably like twice a month on the minimum. So anyways, they told me you don't just do relist. You want to do sell similar because it brings new metadata. Mark the old things down, run a sale. I have had some success with moving. I've had a lot of success actually with moving older inventory by sending out really aggressive offers on Poshmark and running a discount off sale on eBay. For me, it's under marketing. I think you have to have a store to do this. I don't know. Let me know. I have a store, a subscription. What do you call it? I'm the subscription level where I pay for the store every month. So I can send out coupons. I can do the discount sale. So I do that on really old inventory, and that's been helping. And then, you know, if it's not selling, you don't have to donate. You can consider selling it on ThredUp, on The RealReal, or you could even sell it to other resellers and maybe they'll have more luck with it. But you have to be actively monitoring your inventory, because at the end of the day, friends, I always say this. If you are just buying items and you are not selling, you are not a reseller. You're just a buyer. And that is the hard truth of this video. I cannot wait to get my teeth fixed so I can stop with this lisp. If you are new here, I'm just chatting at this point, and then we'll go into, some of you said you're interested in the couponing content. I will show you that if I can figure out. So I got you guys these glasses that have the camera. I saw Jack Valentine got like the fancy ones. The name brand ones are from Meta, you know, like Facebook. They created their own. But I got the knockoff ones on Amazon. And so I thought I was recording in CVS when I was couponing, but I don't know that I know how to turn these on, because I actually filmed a whole estate sale video. The way it works, you guys, is you put the glasses on, you push the record button, and the camera's right here. It is amazing. But because these are like the janky Amazon version, they're like 30 bucks. The legit ones are like 350, 400. I didn't film anything in the estate sale because I didn't know I had to tap twice. So I think I was filming at CVS. So if I was, I will include that footage at the end of this video. But a lot of you said you want to see the couponing content. So when I coupon, I'll film it and I'll start putting it at the end of these videos. I have been loving couponing. Thank you, TikTok, for introducing me to it. Because that's where I discovered like couponing was TikTok videos. I know people have been doing couponing videos on YouTube for years, but because it's such quick format content, I think it really stuck with me. So I'll be doing that. What I was saying is every kid I have, I lose a tooth. It's horrible. I didn't know this was a thing. I know a lot of you are going to be like, well, I had 18 kids, Nikki, and I didn't lose my teeth. I don't know, you guys. My OBGYN and my dentist said that it is so common. Like, they have a joke in the dental community that for every child a woman has, she loses a tooth. I don't know what the heck. I breastfeed these giant children, and I think they just like suck all the nutrients out of me, and I lose a tooth. I have never had so many dental problems in my life until I started having children. And really, the dental problems start postpartum and when I'm breastfeeding. TMI, I don't know. Listen, YouTube shows me on the back end, like 98% of you are girls. So you get it. And if you don't have kids and you're thinking about it, please don't let this scare you. They are worth it. And maybe you'll be one of those lucky ones that doesn't look like a toothless, I almost said something really bad. So yeah, I am waiting to get a dental implant. So until then, I basically have a denture that I literally have to put it in and take it out every time I eat and rinse it. Oh my God, this is my future. Like, don't all of us lose our teeth as we get older? Although, you know what? My grandma is 92, and I'm pretty sure those are all her teeth. I should ask her. Hey, Grandma, are all your teeth real? I've never seen her take them out. Listen, I'm like, what? How much younger? I'm like 70 years younger than her, and I'm the one with the dentures. It's a mess. So anyways, I've probably lost so many people now. Nobody's still here. I like to do a code word when I'm just rambling, because I really am curious to see like how many of you are literally still here while I'm talking to you, like we're just girlfriends over coffee. So the curd, I can't speak this god dang denture. The code word will be tooth. If you are still here at this point in the video, comment down tooth. And then everybody else that watched like the first 4 minutes is gonna be like, what is wrong with these people? They're so mean. Why are they talking about her teeth? Why is everyone talking about this poor girl's teeth? I mean, I know she has a speech impediment, but comment tooth if you are still here. I bet you there's like 5 of you. I don't know. Every time I do this, you guys surprise me, and there's like 15 of you that are like, tooth, tooth, tooth. And I'm like, oh no. So many of you listen to me ramble. All right, friends, let's go to the thrift store, check some comps, and then maybe couponing. I am going to get the name brand ones of these. I'm going to try to buy them on like eBay or Amazon pre-owned, because I know that I'll use them a lot, but $3.50, I'm such a cheapo reseller, you guys. And I never use that word. My oldies but my goldies know. Like, cheap is like the word moist to other people. Like, I don't like that word, but I just feel like that's so much money for camera glasses. I don't know. But then these, the quality, if I can get the footage uploaded, you'll see the quality is not that great. And the quality on the legit ones, I might have to just bite the bullet and write it off as a business expense, because I would strictly only use that for filming for YouTube. I'm not going to use it for anything else, but the quality on the name brand ones is really, really good. So it might be worth it, especially because I film so much for you guys. Like when I go thrifting, it would be nice to have my hands free. I do have a GoPro with a chest mount, but I don't know, I don't know how people wear those and film. People stare at you so much more as opposed to you just like holding your phone like this. When you have this big chest mount and this camera, and then, I don't know. I just don't want to be as obvious that I'm filming, and I like the glasses. I prefer the glasses to the chest mount and the GoPro. All right, let's go check some comps. We are at the thrift store and we find these Juicy Couture plaid pants. So I'm going to show you exactly what I do. I'm going to take you on my phone and show you what I do while I am out thrifting, how I check comps for specific items. It's really simple, you guys. And when I have the time, I get really detailed. When I don't get as detailed, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to do a full video on how to check comps. So you're going to see this footage again in that video. But what I do is I open up Google Lens. Every reseller, every person should have this app, you guys. It's amazing. You take a photo of it in the app and it'll try to find what you're looking for. And then I typed in Juicy Couture pants, and look at that. We found some pink plaid pants listed that were listed for $25. But we don't want to just know what's listed, because that's great, but we want to know what's actually selling. So there's about 100 that are currently listed of these Juicy Couture plaid pants, or some that are similar, but we want to find the ones that sold. So this tells us there are none sold. Of all of these 100 plaid pants, none have sold. So let's get more specific. Let's put in the size. These were 28, and then I can see, oh, 4 have sold of plaid pants. None of the ones that are exactly like mine. The ones I found were cropped. So you can see the 4 that sold, the sell-through rate is not great. I mean, first of all, the sell-through rate's not great. And also the comps are not great. They were selling anywhere from like $10 to $18. So that's a really quick look at how I do it. I take a Google Lens photo. I try to find the exact name of the item. Then I go into eBay. I type the name into eBay and I look at how many are listed, and then I filter and I see how many are sold. And that's going to give you the sell-through rate. And that'll also tell you comps, like what they're actually selling for. So that was a quick look. Subscribe, because we will have a very detailed sell-through rate video and how to look up comps coming up very soon.